Hello friends, welcome back to our video lecture series on course title Fluid Mechanics 2. In this lecture we are going to start new topic flow in open channels. So we are going to start a new topic, and this will be our introductory lecture where we are going to discuss types of flow and various types of channels. So basically flow is classified as pressurized flow and gravity flow. So in case of gravity flow, the gravity will be the only one force which is going to causing the flow. But if I am considering the pressurized flow where the flow is taking place due to the pressure difference in between 2 points, so if I am considering a pipe, closed pipe, circular pipe in which water is totally filled, so in this case whatever the flow is taking place, that will be due to the pressure difference in between 2 points. But in case of gravity or channel, there will be only gravity force which is causing the flow. So here there will be a bottom slope which will be subjected to uh, which will be responsible to uh, flow of water. Now again there are some other differences, like say in case of open channel flow, in case of gravity flow, the surface of liquid will be exposed to the atmosphere, so there will be a free surface exist in case of gravity flow. But in case of pressurized flow, there will be no free surface of liquid. Again further, whatever the hydraulic gradient line in case of gravity flow or in case of open channel flow, that will be a addition of Z plus Y. But the same in case of pressure flow, that will be addition of diatom head plus pressure head. And obviously if we add diatom head plus pressure head along with the velocity head, then it will become total energy, that is the total energy line. So in case of open channel flow, that hydraulic gradient line exactly coinciding with the free surface of liquid, because here it is the Y and here it is the Z from the datum, somewhere from the datum this will be the Z. So addition of those two going to give me the hydraulic gradient line, which always going to coincide with the free surface of the liquid. But in case of pressurized flow, that will be not case. Hydraulic gradient line may be somewhere else above the surface of the liquid inside the pipe. Again, even if I am considering the closed pipe in which is the subjected to a partially filled condition, that is also said to be an open channel flow, because here it is one free surface is exist and which is exposed to the atmosphere. Here there will be no pressure force, there will be a gravity force which is causing or responsible for the flow in such cases. Now in case of open channel, obviously the slope is going to play important role than the pressure. In case of pressurized flow, obviously pressure will be the responsible in pressure difference between 2 points. So we will start this lecture. So by starting with the types of flow. So what are the different types of flow? As we have discussed previously as well, we will just recall it. Then steady flow and unsteady flow. Obviously in case of steady flow, whatever the discharge, velocity and depth of flow are going to remain same over the time, so they are not going to change over the time, then it is said to be a steady flow. And in case of unsteady flow, those properties of flow or characteristics of the flow going to change over the time. Now in case of open channel, it quite difficult to attain that steady flow condition, and obviously due to the turbulent nature of the flow and also due to the interaction of various forces such as wind and surface tension etc. at the free surface, which are always be having some fluctuation of the flow properties with respect to time, and obviously it is quite impossible to attain that steady flow condition in case of open channel flow. Rather we are going for the steady and steady uniform flow, unsteady uniform flow, unsteady ununiform flow. So in most of the cases, channel will be subjected to the unsteady flow, which is quite difficult to analyze those kind of situations. Now next, uniform and non-uniform flow. Those are the most commonly used terms in the open channel flow, because non-uniform and uniform flow are those flow which are going to maintain the characteristic of the flow constant over the length of the channel. So depth of flow or velocity of the flow are going to remain same or constant over the length of the channel in the longitudinal direction, then it is said to be a uniform flow. And if those properties are going to change over the length of channel, then it is said to be a non-uniform flow or varied flow. Now you should know the basic difference between those two. So if I am considering a channel, I think we have previously discussed this, and let us consider two sections. So if I am considering the steady flow, in case of steady flow, whatever the flow properties should remain same or constant over the time at the same location. So we are taking the measurement at the same location over the different time interval. But in case of open uniform flow, what we are considering those two sections, and we are taking the measurement at two sections. So whatever the property is available at section 1 should be the equal to whatever the property available at the section 2 at the same time. Okay, so flow is not going to change, flow characteristic are not going to change over the time in case of steady flow, and flow characteristic are not going to change over the length of the channel in case of uniform flow. Now generally prismatic channel, which are also said to be an artificial channel carrying a certain discharge with the constant velocity, is the best example of the uniform flow. So you can say that those are the artificial or man-made channel. Now in this case, the depth of flow will remain constant along the channel length, and his free surface will be parallel to the bed in case of uniform flow. In case of varied flow, that free surface may going to vary over the time. Now again, varied flow will be classified into two categories: a gradually varied flow and rapidly varied flow. If you are whatever the depth or velocity or any changes in the flow characteristic are going to take place over the long distance. If you see here is the example. Whatever my shape of the surface of the water profile is changing over the long distance gradually and slowly, that is known as gradually varied flow. Now this may happen in case of any obstruction coming in the flowing water, so your uniform flow may get converted into the gradually varied flow. This is the backwater curve. In case of this is the example of a dam and backwater curve, which is generated due to the this obstruction, this particular obstruction. So up to this there was flow was uniform, and after that flow has been converted to non-uniform, and again it has been divided into two category. One is the GVF, gradually varied flow, and another is the RVF, rapidly varied flow. So in case of rapidly varied flow, whatever the flow properties are, like say depth or velocity, abruptly going to change over the very short distance. Here is the example, exactly after the dam or after the obstruction, whatever my depth of flow has been changed abruptly, and again it is changing abruptly up to the certain depth. This is the example of hydraulic jump, where hydraulic jump is occurring at the downstream of the dam. So this is what best example of the RVF, where the flow properties or flow characteristics are going to change over very short distance. Again, laminar flow and turbulent flow. In case of pipe flow, we have used the Reynolds number to define laminar flow and turbulent flow. Similarly, in case of open channel as well, we are going to make use of laminar flow. We are going to make use of Reynolds number to define whether flow is laminar or turbulent. If your value of Reynolds number is less than 500, then flow is said to be a laminar flow, and if your value of Reynolds number is more than 2000, then it is said to be a turbulent open channel flow. And if it is in between 500 to 2000, then it is said to be a transition state. Now in case of pipe, if the value of Reynolds number is less than 2000, then it was treated as laminar flow, and if it is greater than 4000, then it was treated as turbulent flow. In case of open channel flow, equation of the Reynolds number would remain same, only the one another parameter would be added here. Instead of length or diameter, we have added here hydraulic radius, which is also known as hydraulic mean depth, which is the ratio of area of cross section of the channel divided by weighted perimeter. Obviously those parameters we will discuss in the separate lecture. Just right now remember this one. The next one, supercritical, critical and subcritical flow. This classification is generally done by using Froude number. So Froude number is the ratio of inertia force to the gravitational force. So it is given by equation V upon under root of GD, where D is the hydraulic depth of channel. In case of pipe, we were considering this D as a diameter of the pipe. In case of open channel flow, this D is generally said to be a hydraulic depth of the channel, and which is the ratio of top width of the channel to the area of the channel to the weighted area of the channel to the top width of the channel. Now if the value of Froude number is less than 1, then flow is said to be a subcritical flow, and if value of Reynolds number value of Froude number is equal to 1, then flow is said to be a critical flow, and if your value of Reynolds number is greater than 1, then flow is called as supercritical or shooting or rapid or torrential flow. So you can understand by looking to this equation, when there will be a high Froude numbers value will be high. If you see here, its nominator is V, so whenever velocity is high, obviously Froude number value will be high, because this G is constant, and this as depth increases, obviously velocity goes on decreases. So for the same depth, if the velocity increases, Froude number will be increases and flow will become supercritical or shooting flow. Understood? So those are the classification of open channel flow, what we have discussed. And now let's move to the classification of open channels, types of channels. So the first, either prismatic or non-prismatic channels. So prismatic channels are those in which cross-sectional properties of the channel like shape, size and bottom slope are remain constant, then it is known as prismatic channels. And if those properties are going to change, then it is known as non-prismatic channel. Now in case of natural channel, it is quite impossible that those property will remain same, because due to the turbulences or due to the frictional forces of the water, flowing water, those are going to erode those boundaries of the channel, and obviously those are treated as a non-prismatic channels. Almost all natural channels are said to be a non-prismatic channel. And what are the man-made channel, like say canal, lined canal, artificial lined canal, or open canal, open duct, those are said to be a prismatic channel, where the boundaries will remain rigid, or we can say that will remain the shape, size, both are remain, all the properties are going to remain same over the time. So those are said to be a prismatic channels. And the next one is the rigid and mobile boundary channel. Now in case of rigid channel, what we have discussed just now, whatever the boundaries are not deformable, they will not subjected to any deformation due to the whatever the turbulences or forces, frictional forces because of flow. So best example is lined canals, sewers, or non-erodible unlined canals, where there is no deformation taking place, there is no erosion taking place of the banks. Those channels are said to be a rigid boundary channels. And the next boundaries are subjected to deformation due to continuous process of erosion, and then it is known as mobile boundary channel, where the boundaries or shape of the boundaries are going to change. So both are the same, just the condition is different. Here the boundary condition has been considered. In the previous case we have considered the size and shape. So those are the basic classification of the channel. Hope you understood this classification. We will start with our new topic in the next lecture. Those are the references which I have used to prepare this presentation. Thank you for watching.